Hey guys, it's Sheila and welcome to Making It in Australia. I think I haven't shared this before, but here are the reasons why I actually left travel nursing and chose a permanent full-time job. Number one is job security. Having a permanent full-time job gives you that permanent income and consistent financial stability, especially when it comes to thinking of where are you getting money to pay the bills. So here you've got like constant working hours to help you with that, and of course you're getting paid when you do your hours. Another one is you have less worry when your contract is about to finish. You don't have like that consideration of, oh, what's next for me? Because sometimes it gives me anxiety, especially when I did travel nursing. Like, what if they don't like me, or what if they don't want to extend my contract and let's say it's just for 4 weeks, so what's next for me? What other contract that I can actually think of? So yeah, it's just, less worry about that one. When you have a permanent full-time job, there's like other cases that your employer can actually terminate your employment, and that's, I think, severe cases. So we can go through that in another vlog. But yeah, you won't have to worry if there's like budget cuts, if there's like other things that you need to do, because you are actually employed permanently, so they can't really get rid of you straight away. All right, number two is full employment benefits. We have paid leaves. So let's start with personal leave. So you get personal leave entitlements. You've got annual leave as well. So here in ACT, we do have 7 weeks of annual leave. And then there's also paid parental leave. Say, for example, you're expecting your child. So if both of you are working as a nurse, you get maternity leave, and your partner can get a paternal leave, which is really, really great. Also, we've got superannuation. So superannuation is your employer's contribution towards your retirement or your pension. So that's really mandatory here in Australia. So when you're working full time, they will pay that one. I'm not saying that they're not going to pay it when you're a travel nurse, but I think this one is like more secure. Like, you have like consistent superannuation contribution towards the end of your career. And another one is also public holidays, or also penalties. So you get to be rotated when you're doing like a morning or an afternoon. You can work Saturday, Sundays as well. You can work public holidays, so you get to have that rotating shift. So all right, number 3 is the workplace stability and community. So I really would like to have a workplace that I feel like I belong. And having said that, now that I'm working in my like previous workplace that I left and then I came back with, we still really have a good working relationship, and you have that kind of community. So they're very supportive when I came back, and they the warmest welcome that you could ever imagine and you can ever think of. Less time for adjustments and all that sorts, because in saying that, if you're a travel nurse, you will be assigned to a different unit in a different workplace all over, like, say, Australia, so different states or territories, and you might have to adjust to every single people. So I think I don't like that every time, because it gives me anxiety. And also there's less emotional fatigue when you're working full time, because you're not constantly adapting to these changes in the environments and new policies and guidelines. So yeah, I think that's one thing I like them. I'm permanent in one area or one location. The third benefit that I could see when it comes to having a permanent full-time position is their structured career development and support. So I've experienced that one here in ACT when I came back as a hemodialysis nurse, and there was an opportunity to work as a clinical development nurse. And in saying that, there's a lot of trainings, a lot of e-learnings, and a lot of opportunities, especially for nurses to progress in their career, whatever they want to study. There's that support that the our employer gives us, especially with the hospital that I work with at the moment. So I really like that part. So there's also that mentorship when you're a senior nurse, and having that stable relationship. Also, there's also that team leading roles that you can work on if you want to progress in your career. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities that is in store for you when you work full time. The fifth one would be work-life balance. So per se, if you're full-time, you have a predictable roster, and in saying that, there's some shift patterns that will allow better personal scheduling. Like for example, myself and my husband, say if we work both in the morning, we've got opportunity to walk our dogs in the afternoon, or if there's sometimes that we have some day off that we're together, so we can plan our day, probably go and do groceries together, and also like weekends off. That would be really good to spend time with family. So yeah, it gives you that schedule or that opportunity to actually plan your life and activities ahead of you, like if you've got badminton and all that. So yeah, we can work our way around it. And also we've got access as well to staff wellness and workplace support. So if you're going through something especially related to work or like clinical, so you've got some support that is offered to you by your employer or the health industry that you work in. Especially for me, like I'm a nurse. Sixth, and I think this is the last that it's applicable to me, is the financial planning benefit. I would say it's easier for you to apply for loans or mortgages and rentals with proof of stable employment, because here in Australia, you can actually get access up to about everything. You could borrow money and all that, but it has a lot of requirements, and one of the requirements would be your type of employment. Say if you're casual, so some banks or some corporations, they would look at, say for example, you wanted to buy a car and your employment is on a casual basis. So I've experienced this when I was in Queensland, when I actually wanted to buy a new car, but then my contract is only for 2 months. So you will be scrutinized a bit more, and you will be asked to provide a lot of proof of financial stability, like what are you paying, or if your partner's, like what's your partner's job, and what's other type of financial resources that you can have. So yeah, just having a full-time job gives you that relief that, hey, the cash flow is going, and it's consistent, and I'm not gonna get fired anytime soon. So that's one thing that banks for loans and all that can actually is looking for. Another one is that reliable monthly income support, like long-term planning, like say buying a property or supporting family or your education. So you can at least plan that one, because if you've got like a consistent income, you can save up for like your future plans. Like myself, when I became a registered nurse, I actually planned to buy we planned to buy a car first, because it's a necessity here in Australia, and then we saved up for the house that we're living in at the moment, and it gave us another opportunity to actually buy another property that was the one in Queensland. But those are the experience before. But yeah, it gave me a financial stability that I really wanted as a adult here in Australia, because I don't want to ask from my parents for support. So those are the things that I can tell you why I prefer to have a permanent full-time job instead of doing the travel nursing. And on top of that, we want to be situated in one location, which is now here in Canberra, and that paved way in a lot of opportunities since we came back, job wise, promotions, we get to upgrade our car. So yeah, thank you to our employer. And yeah, I think that's about it that I can talk to you guys about. So hopefully you get something out of this. If you're thinking of still doing travel nursing or permanent full-time, hopefully I point out some considerations that you have to do. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment down below. And I apologize for Wata's snoring. I tried to wake him up, but that's him. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Again, it's Sheila reminding you to inspire like wildfire, dream big dreams, and maybe one day you too can be a registered nurse here in Australia or maybe anywhere. Bye!